Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and it's fall time. So I'm going to be talking about my top 5 topwater lures for fall bass fishing. Let's check it out. Whoa, there we go. Yeah! Woo, holy cow, folks. Topwater Johnny here, man. This is what we came here for. Look at that. Get back here. Look at that right there. That's the kind of beast that we came here for. There we go. Woo! And that one hooked. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. Want to welcome you to my next video. And this video is the top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. So what I want to do right now is go ahead and get started with it right now.
5.
Okay, everybody, my number 5 topwater bass fishing lure for the fall is an inline spinner. That's right, everybody, an inline spinner. I really like the idea of an inline spinner. At first, I wasn't a big fan of it, but after using Panther Martin inline spinners and various ones, I saw the power of an inline spinner in the fall. So I want to tell everybody that what I do with this one is that I will cast it out. I cast it out on braid and have caught fish. I've also cast it out on monofilament. But what I'm doing is I'm reeling it really, really fast to get that blade spinning like that right there. And that looks like a bluegill. That looks like some type of shad, but it's got that action. And in the fall, when it's a little bit cooler, those bass can be a lot more sensitive. Now, I live down in the south, so the bass are a little bit, it takes a little bit longer for the water to get cooler down here. But up north, this might be your lure of choice in the fall to trigger them to bite. So an inline spinner. But it's always tough to figure out what lures are my favorite lures. So I'm going to give you another option right here. This one right here. And I'll actually be releasing a video on it in probably another couple of weeks. But check this out, everybody. A buzz bait right here. And this one right here is the actual VT4 by Megabass. And it's a buzz bait. And so this is another one that's a great fall transition type of bait. And I fish with this one right here that you're looking at. And I'll be doing a whole video on this one. You'll be seeing me catch fish on it and showing you how it works. But a buzz bait is another great lure that you could be fishing with in the fall, because once again, it's all about disturbance and getting them to notice your lure moving across and past them. So anything that makes a disturbance like a buzz bait, this is going to be a great one right here. And those are my favorite number 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. All right.
4.
All right. Number 4 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. Number 4 is a dragonfly or any type of insect. Let's be honest, we're in the fall now, and the insects are definitely out, and they're making kind of like their last bid as well, flying around. So those bass are noticing those insects, and they're keying in on them. So this right here is one of the dragonflies that I had made by Captain Ken, who is a designer of dragonfly lures right here, as you can see, with the hook in the back for the short strikes and a hook up front that I use to bring it across the top and bring it across the water right there. So this is an awesome lure in the fall because of the dragonflies and insects. But if you don't have that type of lure, in other words, lunker hunt makes a dragonfly, but also I really love this one as well. This is the Megabass Beetle X. And this is another insect type of winged bug right here that you could also use as well in the fall. Because once again, those insects are hitting the water. Those bass are keying on them, whether you're up north or down south, they're keying on those insects. And so they're trying to feed up for the winter as well. So an insect is a great lure to have. And this is actually the Megabass Beetle X. So these are the two types of lures that I would definitely have, and they are my number 4.
3,
All right, my number 3 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. Number 3 is by Rapala, the jointed minnow. Check that out right there. That is truly a classic right there. Many people already have that in their tackle box right there, but this lure right here is an outstanding lure for the fall. Those bass are chasing minnows and they're being really aggressive, so they're trying to feed up and they're looking up, and so some places they're chasing shad, they're chasing bluegill, but this right here has been a staple in hundreds and hundreds of fishermen's boxes right here. It always catches fish and it's excellent in the fall transition. So I love this lure right here. I prefer this model right here, kind of with the little red on the side right here. And this was one of the first topwater lures that I really enjoyed and had a lot of success with early on in my top water fishing experiences. So this one for sure is one that you definitely would want to have in your tackle box. Another one that I've got here that I want to share with everybody is another one. Check this out, is the Evergreen JT95 in the what they call striper shad right here. This is another one right here for the fall that does outstanding when it comes to for those bass chasing it. As you can see right here, it has it comes naturally with 3 treble hooks. I put a feather tail on the back. Lots of rattle, lots of noise right here. This one right here will draw them up. If they're down there looking up at this one, the jointed minnow, they're already up surface, they're already looking around. That's gonna be great. But if you gotta really bring them up, you're gonna have to have something with a little bit of noise, a little bit of rattle to it. And this JT95, which is a Japanese lure, does an outstanding job of that. So I wanted to show everybody that this is another lure that will do that job for you as well. And those are my number 3 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall. All right.
2,
All right. My number 2 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition, and you've got to have one of these right here. That is, of course, a frog. Whenever the fall comes around here, of course, there are going to be frogs out there on those lily pads, frogs around the edges of docks, frogs everywhere. So it's important to have something that you can slow down and really put in front of those bass. I prefer, at this time period, a popper type frog over just a straight nose frog, because what I'm trying to do in the fall is I'm trying to push water and create a louder commotion from this action and activity. I also, as you can see here, I also shaved the tails as well here. And this right here is actually the Savage Gear 3D popping frog right here. So this is their popper version of that frog right here. Generally, I tie braid on with this right here. And this is my favorite kind of go-to lure when I'm fishing in those lily pads in the fall and I'm trying to work it through there. Now, along with that, there's another lure that I'm also a big fan of, and it is of course, it is the bluegill pattern, and it is the live target sunfish right here. In some of other videos, you've seen me fishing with a sunfish before, and I just want to show everybody that this right here is an outstanding lure once again, because remember, some of our areas, they don't have shad, they have bluegill. I actually have lots of bluegill where I'm at. So when they're coming up busting, they're busting on bluegill and little baby bluegill, and that's really what they're chasing. And so it's important to have a lure that actually reflects that. So that's why the frog or the live target sunfish would be an outstanding lure. And that's why the frog and the sunfish are my number 2 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. All right.
1,
All right. And when you finally made it here to my number 1 of my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition, and my number 1 lure, and you watched the video of it earlier this week, is a popper, and specifically the Megabass Swing Hot Popper. this right here, definitely in the fall because it's small, it's flashy, it has a cup mouth for popping and moving water. And those bass, as I said before, are chasing minnows, sunfish, they're looking up, they're chasing insects, and you need a popper, something that you can throw into cover, into those open spaces. Some of these lures I've talked about are built for open water. Some are built for very specific lily pads, but sparse cover and even open water, a popper in the fall will work great. You can actually reel this one fast and it'll kind of wake along, or you can pop it slowly and just pop it and pause, pop it and pause. And that will trigger those bass as well. So I'm really excited about this lure right here. If you didn't get a chance to watch the video of this one, then please go back and check that one out as well. There's probably going to be a description of it in the box here as well. But I wanted to show everybody that the number one lure that I would have in my top 5 for the fall transition is going to be a popper. And if you can't get this popper, find yourself some type of popper that you can use in the fall. Make sure it's silver or matches the hatch so that you can get some popping action and you can get some reaction out of those bass, because what they're doing right now is they're feeding up. So you want to make sure that you got something that gets yourself in a situation where they can hear it, they can see it, and then they'll strike it. All right. And that is my number 1 topwater bass fishing lure for the fall. All right, here are my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. At number 5 is our inline spinner right here, our VT buzzbait by Megabass. At number 4 is an insect, a dragonfly, or the Megabass Beetle X. At number 3 is the Rapala jointed bait swim bait, or the Evergreen JT95 sexy shad right here, silver shad. At number 2 is the Savage Gear 3D popping frog right here, or the live target sunfish right here. And number 1 is the Megabass swing hot popper. And those are my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. All right. Well, there you go, everybody. My top 5 topwater bass fishing lures for the fall transition. And as you can see, sometimes it's hard to figure out which 5 are my top 5 because every situation is a little bit different. But what I wanted to do was provide you with a sampling of lures for different scenarios and different situations that you're going to be facing. So that's why I'm so excited to do these top 5, because it gives you an idea of the type of lures that you should be fishing with if you're going to fish top water. So that's why I wanted to show those to you, and that was really exciting to me. Also, be on the lookout for next week's video, which I'm really excited about because it's all about windy days next week. So the video I'll be doing, releasing next Monday, will be all about how to fish on a windy day. So you'll see a video of me fishing with a lure on a windy day, and you'll hear my thoughts about it. Later that week, which is next week, you'll get my top 5 topwater bass fishing lures that you should be fishing on a windy day. And I'll give you my top 5 of those as well. So I'm really excited about that. Also, the lures that I referenced in this video, if you go over to my description box below, you will see links to all of those lures. In other words, you'll see links where you can watch me discuss and fish with that lure specifically. So you'll get a chance to actually see it in action, hear me talk about it, and you'll get a lot more details about it as well. This video is all about giving you just the big 5 of that, and that's really what the goal is there. Also, be sure to join the text alert. That's 31996 and the word topwater. That puts you on the message and text alert. Also, make sure that you are able to subscribe to the channel, because I need you to subscribe as well. By joining the text alert, that allows you also to be alerted when new videos, when I release new videos, also for the giveaways. Now, I haven't done any texting yet, but I will soon. So I want to make sure that you're on the text alerts, because that's how I do the giveaways. And that's how I'm going to do kind of like special footage and special videos. I'm going to use it that way so that you guys really get a chance to see me in action and doing things specifically for Topwater. So that's really what the goal and focus is there. Please like and subscribe to the channel. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you guys' support. If there is any other top 5 that you can think of that you'd like to see, because I'm going to do one on windy days, I'm going to do one on heavy cover, I'm going to do one on what lures to fish early in the morning or late at night. I'm going to do one on that one as well. I'm going to do some type of top 5 specialty lures as well. So I'm coming up with all kind of really creative topwater lure counts that I can share with you and then explain to you the situation in which I would fish those. So this has been a lot of fun to create this, and I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And I just want to always thank you guys for just being a part of the journey here with me. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and I want you to always remember that phrase: keep your line tight, because when they hit that topwater lures, especially any one of those top 5, it's going to be a big bite. All right.